Look closely at a magic trick, and you'll see distraction. You are told to watch the wealth appearing in one hand, while the other hand quietly takes something away. At their 90th annual general meeting, the National Party pitched a compelling idea to New Zealanders, making KiwiSaver compulsory and pushing total contributions to 12% by 2032. The pitch leans heavily on personal responsibility. Finance Minister Nicola Willis argues that forcing everyone into the system will build long-term wealth and secure a better retirement across the board. But almost immediately, independent actuaries, Māori data analysts, and the political opposition warned of severe, unaddressed flaws in the fine print. To understand who actually pays for this compulsory system, we have to ignore the podium speeches and run the raw math. The first major claim is that a combined 12% contribution rate is the mathematical sweet spot for financial security. To test that, we can look at the findings from the NZ Society of Actuaries Retirement Income Interest Group. This chart shows how that 12% rate actually behaves for a minimum wage worker. The actuaries found the rate is excessive. By locking away 6% of their take-home pay today, a worker's current ability to pay for rent and groceries drops well below the baseline cost of living, artificially bloating a distant retirement account while suffocating their present survival. The second claim suggests that legally requiring people to save will automatically help families who are currently falling behind. Opposition leader Chris Hipkins pointed out a basic economic friction. Mandating saving does not inject money into an empty bank account. During a cost of living crisis, people aren't avoiding KiwiSaver because they dislike it. They opt out because they literally cannot afford the deduction. National's policy does offer a way to pause these compulsory payments, but only if an earner passes the statutory financial hardship test. This is not a simple tick box stating you are struggling. It requires gathering documented proof of imminent financial collapse, like a mortgage foreclosure or severe medical debt, and having it signed by a justice of the peace. For a low-income Kaiowina working irregular hours, finding the time, transport, and resources to clear that bureaucratic hurdle is incredibly difficult. When the only exit door requires proving you are already ruined, the policy acts as a trap for low-wage whānau. It forces them to sacrifice the money they need for tomorrow's groceries to fund a hypothetical future. The pitch also promises that workers won't bear this cost alone, because employers will be mandated to match that 6% contribution. But that ignores a legal loophole already utilized by nearly half of all New Zealand employers, the total remuneration clause. This diagram shows a worker's paycheck under total remuneration. Instead of the employer adding 6% on top of your salary, the employer's compulsory match is legally subtracted from your base pay. The worker funds both sides, and their actual take-home pay shrinks. To compound the income hit, the government's own annual top-up to KiwiSaver accounts has been halved, dropping from $521 down to $260. Meanwhile, the entities guaranteed to profit are private fund managers. They already extract over $861 million a year in fees. By forcing every worker to contribute more, that fee harvest geometrically compounds, siphoning wealth away from the saver. Finally, we have to look at the claim that a compulsory retirement scheme benefits all demographics equally. This chart compares life expectancy against the rising superannuation age. We see a glaring gap. The actuarial life expectancy for Māori men is currently 73.4 years. As the government plans to push the retirement age even higher, Māori and Pacific workers are legally compelled to funnel their diminished wages into a system they mathematically may never live long enough to access. We have to trace these rules back to the Beehive, where the architecture of this policy was drafted. Stripped of its marketing, this is an extraction system that demands the most economically vulnerable citizens subsidize private financial funds and national deficits. The exact people carrying the weight of this math are low-wage workers, wahine, and Māori whānau who are already navigating deep material hardship. You cannot measure the success of an economic policy by the volume of a standing ovation in a wealthy conference hall. You measure it by the financial reality it creates for the workers at the absolute bottom of the wage scale. When extraction is packaged and sold as common sense, the only defense is to run the math for yourself. Kauki te nā. No to that.